They are the Wright brothers. Wright brothers invented the aeroplane. So I'll give you a statement and I want you to write it down. And this is what the statement the Wright brothers said. If everything that is believed to be true is accepted as the truth, there will be little scope for innovation. Let me say it once again. If everything that is, come on, repeat, believed to be true is accepted as the truth, there will be little scope for innovation. What was believed to be true at the time of the Wright brothers? Man cannot fly. Was it believed to be true only in their family? Was it believed to be true only in their street? Was it believed to be true only in their town? Was it believed to be true only in their country? It was believed to be true all over the world. But did they accept it as the truth? They challenged it. They challenged it. If everything that is believed to be true is accepted as the truth, there will be little scope for innovation. I hope somebody gives me the answer to this question now. What was the profession of the Wright brothers before they filed the patent for the aircraft? Anybody? Yes? Automobile? No. Cycle shop. Thank you, Dr. Chandy. Cycle repair shop. Go and Google and you'll get it. So what were the Wright brothers before they invented the aeroplane? Cycle repair. And all of you are better than that. Yes, definitely. So you can come out, but you need to challenge the status quo. Another one related to medical thing. You know the bumblebee? Round shape, small wing. You know, scientists, they said this bee or any insect of this shape cannot fly. So they came to a conclusion that the bumblebee cannot fly. And they found the bumblebee flying. Wait a minute, come back. Just now we concluded, we did research and we said you cannot fly because the wind drag is so much and your wing is so small. They put it back in the wind tunnel and they found out that the bumblebee can fly because of 3 parameters that they ignored. First one is they ignored the frequency of the flapping of the bumblebee and the duration. They calculated a particular frequency, but it was flapping far more. The second one, they calculated the plane in which the bumblebee was flapping its wings. It was a fixed plane when the bumblebee was actually flapping in a rotatory flame. But the real reason, third reason, why the bumblebee can fly, can somebody tell me? What is the real reason why the bumblebee can fly? It wants to fly, okay, that's one answer. What else? It does not know that it cannot fly is another answer. Any other answers? I'll give you the real reason why the bumblebee can fly. The bumblebee can fly because it did not do aeronautical engineering in IIT Chennai. Are you able to understand? Many times it is your knowledge of how it can be done that will prevent how a new thing can be done or how it cannot be done. My boss used to say, whenever I want a difficult thing, I will not hire a genius, because that fellow will come out with a scientific reason how it cannot be done. So, first quality as budding doctors, what must you do? You must have passion. Passion to excel. Passion to excel will give you 5 distinctive benefits. Passion to excel will give you long life. Right? You go to the island of Okinawa in Japan. Okinawa has got the world's largest number of centenarians. You know who are centenarians? People who live more than 100 years. I want all of you as doctors to read one particular book by Malcolm Gladwell. It is called Outliers. I'm sure some of you have read it. Dr. Sandy, you're saying not. What is the first thing? You have read it? Great. Okay, I want you to answer if anybody else has read that book. What was the secret of long life of one particular village in South America? You remember? No, North America. This is not. It was in South America. After Japan, they also did the search in South America, a particular tribe. Okay, let's take Japan also. What was the secret of long life? Mental motivation. No doctors. And also the community living. Go and read that book, Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers. We think that we as doctors are responsible. Think again. It is the way you work on the mindset. Outliers. So, passion, they were all very passionate. Passionate people will have long life. Passionate people will also be healthy. Now, you know as doctors, you are treating a particular terminally ill patient. You go and talk to the doctor, how long will this person live? What is your answer? Will you give a medical reason? As long as this person has got a fighting power. I've seen people die in CMC Vellore. But I've also seen people for the similar disease live very comfortably in some other place. What is the secret? Best of medical attention is here. The secret is that person's will to live. My own mentor, Warren Myers, he was diagnosed of cancer, and the doctors told him, please call all your family members, write your will, everything in 3 months, you are not going to be there. He went back and he prayed about it and everything, and then he took that task onto himself, and he changed the way he was eating, changed the way he did whatever. Long story short, he lived another 8 years more. He said, I'm not going to die before my time. Passionate people will be having long life. Passionate people will also be healthy. Now I'm born at home. I mean, in business as well as in life, I'm always early. My mother said I was 3 days early. Without a midwife, I was born at home. And from that day till today, no major illness. Because of a completely different reason. COVID, the germs are getting shameless. Very shameless. But that apart, let me tell you one thing. A passionate people will be far more healthy. Their ability to bounce back from sickness is far higher. A passionate people will also be far more happy. If you look at my testimony, I've had so many deaths in my family. But none of them deter me. It's not that passionate people will not have bereavements or illnesses. They will have, but their ability to spring back is what gives them the secret. And passionate people will also be far more productive. They'll get things done. Passionate people will also be far more reproductive, not the reproduction that you're thinking of. You know, when God created the world, He just said, be fruitful and multiply. And some of us, we took the second part of the verse very seriously. India and China. I'm talking about the ability to reproduce other leaders. Stephen Covey, this is what he said. If you can hire people whose passion intersects with your job, they won't require any supervision at all. Go back to the recruitment system in EHA, system of every so-called Christian hospital which is not doing well. And you ask them, how are they recruiting? They're recruiting based on qualifications. They're recruiting based on experience. But start recruiting based on the passion, their commitment to the cause for which you are giving, and they will defy the odds. And they will do it so well that you don't have to work on it. The second parameter, that we as budding doctors, if we can become entrepreneurial, is we need to have ownership mindset. What is the ownership mindset? Ownership mindset is basically treat the body as a whole. Think and act like an owner and seize opportunities to maximize value across the organizational boundaries. And here I'll give you an example very specific to the medical field. I have not seen any other profession where two professionals in the same field don't disagree as I see in the medical field. No two doctors will agree. No two surgeons will agree. And I saw the horrible story when my son met with an accident. The orthopedician and the plastic surgeon did not agree. Orthopedician A did not agree with orthopedician B when we had to do the second operation. As doctors, if we can get the ownership mindset, if we can say, listen, we are here to treat ownership mindset, that we will act as if that problem is us, ours. If you want to know a term, you know it already, have empathy. Have just empathy. To that Dr. Srinivas, I told him, have you had a problem like this? 3 weeks ago, I told this to my dentist. He asked me to open my mouth for 1.5 hours. I mean, never have I opened my mouth and not talked for such a long time. So I asked him the question, have you opened your mouth for 1.5 hours to do what you are now doing? He said, I have to confess, no. I said, develop empathy. As doctors, you need to get that. The third quality that you need to get is managing ambiguity. And I can tell you one thing. The COVID time has really brought in the VUCA in its nature. And then what do? Learn from that experience and apply that experience to new and first time situation. Was the COVID situation like before? No. No science technology, no science futurologist ever predicted that 4.5 billion people in the world will be in lockdown. And I still remember I was running a COVID prayer chain. I was then talking to the director of CMC, Vellore. He said, we don't know what to do. Why don't you know? You don't know because this disease is like that. But how will you do? How will you work on it? You will look at your earlier skills, and here if you're writing down notes, I want you to write down 2 kinds of skills that are necessary for you to manage ambiguity. One is demonstrated skills. Demonstrated skills is measured by way of qualification and experience. Transferable skills are measured by way of skills or experience that you get in one particular project or on one particular situation that you can transfer on to another project or another situation. So you treated another patient, you treated another situation. What were the skills that you gained there? And how can you transfer it on here? As entrepreneurial, and this is what is good for the American DNA or the Caucasian DNA. Why is it that those missionaries were able to succeed, whereas our own Indian missionaries who took over could not succeed? Do they lack in passion? I don't think so. Do they lack in commitment? I don't think so. But they lack in competencies for an entrepreneur. That is what is lacking. And the fourth one is lifelong learning. And of course, I don't have to tell this to doctor. The only thing that you do or continue to do is keep on learning and keep on learning. But let that learn have different. Learn, acquire knowledge in any area. Underline this. The problem with medical community is you learn only in your field. Whether a orthopedician, all only in that. Gynecologist, all only in that. Pediatrician, all only in that. Let the learning go into any area, particularly the business area, particularly the economic area. Once you do that, it comprises of a deep-rooted desire to seek out new experiences and the humility to learn from them. You need to learn from experience. What did this experience teach you? The leadership development program at HCL called Top Gun, we brought in the budding CEOs and they had to apply for that program with their failure resume. Let me say that once again. So you have to apply for a leadership program, how? Failure resume. And the starting interview question is, what did you learn from your failure? There are a few hospitals that I know of which have what I would call an all-hands meeting. In that all-hands meeting, okay, patient died. Rather than finding out what happened, what can we learn from this situation? I still remember our chief medical officer in Reliance Industries, a particular boiler burst, in Jamnagar. One person got whatever burns and some crazy things happened. While the rest of the people were trying to fix the blame on somebody, he said, whatever happened has happened. Let us see what we can learn from this failure and see how best we can prevent it from happening. A doctor, you will have failures. Go back and reflect. What can I learn from that failure? What can I learn from that pregnancy that went wrong? What is it that we can go? I think our people are really working on technology. Okay? Yes. And let's get into, this is the third last slide. You need to, fifth competency is the ability to break down complex tasks. As you go to a hospital, as you go to a clinic, as you go to a particular town, as you go to a particular county, you will be given a big problem and that problem will be very big. you will not be able to solve it. How can you solve it? Break it down into smaller elements, incorporating all the relevant details. Okay, this is logistics department, this is transport department, this is customer care department, this is patient care department, this is emergency. Break it down into smaller executable elements. That's how you can run a big project. But you need to have a hand